I feel like Meta has had a lot of controversy with their Meta AI chatbots. They basically said they're removing a bunch of sketchier ones recently. They're making a bunch of rules for teenagers to interact with. But the news today is that they are adding a new one, which a lot of people are finding interesting. And that is that Facebook is getting an AI dating assistant. So today on the podcast, we're going to be breaking down what that looks like, what it's gonna do. Some people will find it funny. Some people will find it useful and interesting. So we'll break all of that down. But before we do, Jamie, why don't you tell them about our school community?
Yes, if you've ever wanted to take your AI skills to the next level and learn how to actually grow a business or make money online using AI, you should check out the AI Hustle School community. We have over 340 members now, and it's a great place to get together with like-minded people and learn. Each week we release bonus content over there about different tools Jaden and I have both used during the week to make money with AI. So Jaden has a really awesome AI music streaming side hustle that he's absolutely crushing it with and scaling with AI. There's a variety of topics, and it's just a really great place to be. The current price is $23 a month, and we're raising it each week. So if you want to lock that price in today, you can go check it out. And we'd love to have you be a member. So let's talk about Facebook here. Now, Facebook, back when I made my first account, it was more of actually kind of like a dating site than anything. Mostly, I mean, I guess it would be more to just connect with other college students. But I remember you had to be a college student to have a Facebook account, which is crazy. That might share my age with you guys. But anyways, apparently they have a Facebook dating app, which I think is a great idea personally. And it's grown 10% year over year. It's for 18 to 29-year-olds. And there's hundreds of thousands of users currently. So I didn't even know that they had a Facebook app or a dating app. But the new feature they have released is like an AI match assistant, which I think is really clever because Facebook probably has more data. It knows you better than some of these other apps like Tinder and whatnot. So Jaden, what do you think about it?
So I already know that there's going to be a lot of people skeptical about it. Basically, anything Facebook makes or anything that, has Mark Zuckerberg involved, they just think of like a nerd that couldn't possibly help them with their love life. And I definitely understand that sentiment. What I will say, though, that Facebook has absolutely excelled at, which is making me sort of bullish on this concept, is the Facebook ads experience is second to none. It is literally like if you want to do marketing online, you're going to go with Facebook ads because you can just target so well. And their AI optimization for Facebook ads is so incredible. You don't even have to set targeting anymore. Basically, like when I run ads now, you can just set up a campaign, you give it the product, and it will find the people that are most likely to convert, and it will just like run the campaign for you. It's really impressive. And so I think basically taking that AI algorithm they've created for ads and putting it on, like sending it to people. So instead of finding, matching a person with a product they like to people that would like each other, I think like actually could be it could work really well, especially when you think like on Facebook, if people are sharing maybe their religious or their their personal values or their political ideas, or if you're just on a dating app and, it's just like, I like long walks on the beach, or like, I like rock climbing. It's like so surface level. So many people are just going to put things on there that they think other people will find interesting instead of what they're like truly about, what they actually spend their time doing, right? But Facebook, I mean, it's kind of tricky because I feel like Facebook definitely has had, okay, this is the number one thing that I'm, I guess, not so bullish on, and the number one thing I'm bullish on. Bullish on is the data and the possibility there, like I've explained, is really impressive. The one area that I think they'll struggle with is if they're only pulling their data from Facebook and not Instagram, which I don't think that's going to be a thing. So maybe I take that back. But like you can imagine, Facebook basically is sort of dying in its use. There's a lot less people that use it. Its audience skews older. And so people aren't really like, I personally don't go post my political stuff on Facebook very often or ever, right? Because, I feel like I've just kind of moved past that. I'm not going to go argue with some great aunt of mine that might disagree. Instagram, I think, is a different story where you're still liking stuff. I think a lot of people like and comment on things on Instagram in the reels. And so if they're basically taking the data from the reels that you interact with, the comments that you leave on those reels, no longer is it just like, I think a lot of people have this misconception with like Facebook that it's like, back in the olden days when Facebook was there, you would like go like pages. And like sometimes I go log into my Facebook account. I'm not super active there, but I'll log in for one reason, Marketplace, probably using Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, right.
And I'll like see my page and it's like Jaden likes Oreos and he likes Nickelback. And it's like the things that I liked when I was like 14 years old and made my Facebook account. And so,
That's
anyways,
awesome.
I just think like the data there is going to be outdated. And so a lot of people will be like, oh, it's outdated or dead. But in reality, they can just pull data from basically what you're interacting with on Reels, what you're commenting with on Instagram, and maybe even, I'm sure people will hate this, and I don't really know how far it goes into, but like technically what you're saying on Messenger or WhatsApp, I know they're kind of doing some encryption stuff there, so maybe they don't pull it out too much, but like they have a lot of data between your messages, the content you engage with, the comments you leave. On all of their platforms, I think they could make. I think they could make a pretty impressive algorithm to match people.
Yeah, I mean, not even just with interest, but like, sense of humor, beliefs, it can probably narrow you down pretty quickly into like-minded individuals, especially. Yeah, so that's, I mean, I think it could be really powerful. Now, as I mentioned earlier, they have hundreds of thousands of users each month, which is not actually that impressive, because if you
Yeah.
look at some of these other ones, like Tinder has about 50 million daily active users, and Hinge has 10 million daily active users. So they are quite behind. So I do think they have a ways to go as far as their marketing, or I don't even really like the name Facebook dating. It sounds like you said kind of nerdy or something. So
Yeah.
I don't know. They got to find a way to market better, but I think they could, like you said, have a pretty amazing algorithm.
Yeah, I think their algorithm would work. 100% agree on the optics. Facebook dating is basically like, they're like, why can't we get more than 100,000 people? Yeah, because you named it Facebook dating. Just like give it a different name, or even, or even start a completely new startup like Threads, and then just put your algorithm into it, basically. So, yeah, I mean, they're competing with distribution. The thing is, they have really big distribution, and we saw what happens when they, like, if they go really hard and they really plug in their app to their current Instagram, like we saw how fast Threads grew to 50 million, daily users of Threads, basically because they promoted it on every single Instagram page. And so I think they could do something similar if they want to, but maybe they're honing their algorithm. I think it's a great use case, but it'll be interesting. One funny feature I saw that they put on here is it's like a surprise match. Basically every week they will automatically match two people together that like haven't swiped on each other. It's just like an algorithmic match, which I think is interesting. I'll be curious to see if like Tinder or any of those other companies do that, or would do that, because it reminds me of like with Spotify, I get my like, Discover Weekly or whatever, where it, which honestly half the time kind of sucks. But sometimes I find a really good gem in Discover Weekly. I'm like, oh, I love that. I really like this song. Wouldn't have found it any other way, but the algorithm suggested it to me. And so I think that that's kind of a funny concept where you don't even have to be like out swiping. I would almost wonder if that becomes the future, where people don't even go swiping through apps. You just open your app up and it'll just tell you like 5 people that it recommends you connect with. Which brings up a
Yeah.
great point of like, are we going to entrust our entire romantic future of the human civilization to Mark Zuckerberg's algorithm?
That is a great question. Speaking of which, with AI investments and things like that, the Match Group, who owns Tinder, Hinge, OkCupid, and others, recently entered a partnership with OpenAI. So they're trying to incorporate some AI features as well, to the tune of $20 million. So that's a significant amount. So I'm guessing they're trying to figure this equation out as well. There could be something there as far as AI algorithms and detecting matches for people. So that's interesting. But yeah, it'll be. I'm not really in this world. I'll be honest.
I
I've been
know, I
married for
know.
13 years. So
It's hard to comment too much, except that how recently? A number of months ago, last year, yeah, last year, my brother was single, and my wife and I helped him make a dating profile and forced him to go on a whole bunch of dates with it. So like, I like sort of have a concept of what these apps look like right now from it. And it worked, by the way. He got a girlfriend, but it wasn't actually from one of the dating apps. It was a good starter to get him out going on dates, and then he ended up finding a girl at like a church activity, which probably a better place anyways.
there you go. There you go.
We got him back in the game though. In any case, one thing that I do think is really interesting here is Match Group has lost about 68% of its stock price in the last 5 years. And their response to this, I do think, is interesting, which is basically they've come up with a bunch of, so they have $20 million. They make a partnership with OpenAI. They're putting this $20 million into AI features. And I actually don't think this is a good idea, a lot of their features. I'll explain why. But basically, the investments that they've made so far, they have an AI photo selection tool. So it scans your camera roll and helps you choose a profile picture. Maybe that one's not that bad. They have they have AI powered matching, kind of like what Facebook's doing. And I think that all depends on the algorithm. If they don't have like if they don't have as much data as Facebook, I fail to believe that's going to be as powerful. And then they have a feature that lets users improve their responses to profile prompts with AI. And I think that that is a horrible thing. Basically, I think right now people want more connection to real, authentic humans. That's why you're probably listening to this podcast instead of some AI generated podcast made by, by Google's whatever that Google AI podcast tool is, right? Or why you
Yep.
probably like to watch a YouTuber instead of just watching AI streamer on Twitch, which apparently those exist now. So like I think people really want to connect with an actual person. And so I think when like something like a dating profile, if you're trying to see like what a person's all about, if they've used AI to write their whole dating profile about the things they
Right.
like, they just basically took AI suggestions. Like that's got to be just so bland. Like if you want to date ChatGPT, just text it, tell it to act like your girlfriend or boyfriend. Like that, I don't know. To me, that's horrible. So I would say write your own dating profile information and don't use AI. And even worse, I can only imagine these dating profiles could like start, like on Facebook or other ones, you upload a picture of yourself and it will like make you as like an astronaut or like another person. I can
Yep.
only imagine using AI to completely regenerate your photos that look like you but better. It could just be a horrible catfishing situation. So
Oh yeah.
use real photos, use real descriptions. People want to meet a real human, and at the end of the day, you just might meet your match at church. So there's also that
There you
too.
go. Well, anyhow, thanks for listening. If you guys enjoyed this episode or got any value out of it, please be sure to leave us a review or rating wherever you're listening. We really appreciate those. And then again, be sure to check out the AI Hustle School community if you want to take your business to the next level or make some money on the side using AI. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.